Hello, how are you?
Hi, good evening.
How old are you?
I'm 52.
52. All right, just a second. 52. How long have you been watching my program?
For the last 6 months, I think.
Okay. All right. Click to start. Let's do it. Any children?
Nope.
Um, and what do you do for a living?
I'm a development director for a community health center.
All right. So, do you want a relationship?
Yes,
When was your last one?
last year,
Last year meaning,
well, 2020.
and why did it end?
Because we were not a good fit. There were some areas of dissatisfaction for me that, I feel, we just needed to part ways.
You were together for a year?
Yeah.
Was it a long distance relationship? Because I'm
No,
starting, huh?
really.
What'd you say?
It was not a long distance relationship.
All right. And who ended the relationship?
I did.
Okay. So, what do you want from a man? High level.
I think the most important thing is someone who is self-assured and self-aware and interested in continuing that growth. Someone who is intellectual, and I do like to have long, wandering conversations. Someone who's active and likes to play. And spends time on, continuing to be plastic and not be rigid as we get older. And someone who I think loves themselves enough to be able to understand how to love someone else. And that's a journey, even for, including for myself.
Okay. So one thing I'm gonna start asking folks is to have good lighting and better Wi-Fi.
Oh, I'm sorry.
No problem. Okay. So,
No.
and then what is he gonna and what is he gonna get in return?
I think in return, he gets a great supportive partner who is open-minded and I think pretty self-accepting of others and their foibles. Not in the business of trying to change anyone. You meet people where they are and you kind of move on from there. Someone who is creative and still is, I think, an active pursuit of.
Are you looking at my facial expressions and understand? Are you listening to the words you say and how they're coming across to me?
Yeah, it's a little bit like, really? Okay, well, I mean, that's what's in my head.
But why do you think that is? Why do you think that's what I'm doing?
I would assume that you imagine that it seems kind of not concrete in some fashion.
Well, I think it's a lot of damn words for a 52-year-old woman.
Oh, well, maybe that's why I'm single. But okay, honest, financially secure.
What does that mean?
Meaning that he's able to maintain his own
How much
lifestyle.
is your femininity? How much does your submission cost annually? How much does he need to make?
I mean, whatever he needs to cover his expenses.
Okay, I'm gonna challenge that. Do you make more than $50,000?
Yeah.
More than 75?
Yeah.
More than 100?
Yeah.
Okay. And why I'm challenging this, folks, is because I realize that as much as attention matters to women, lifestyle matters more these days.
Actually, I'm a minimalist.
It's different being a minimalist and you make over 6 figures because that's a matter of choice. Minimalism because you don't make the money is different.
Right, but I think I've always been this way.
Okay.
I've always been this way. I think possessions are a trap.
You didn't even let me finish
they're not that real.
You didn't let me finish saying what I'm saying, so you don't know what I'm talking about.
No, maybe I should listen. Go ahead.
Lifestyle. The things we like to do. I didn't ask you about the shoes you wear.
Oh,
I'm talking
life.
about, first of
Okay.
all, even the way you're communicating is highbrow. Fine. It's above average, ma'am. You use a lot of words, and most people are very simple.
Oh.
And then you say, oh, just so he can take care of his bills. So if I put you in a room with a guy who's an average earner, what do you think average income is for a black man in this country?
I would say probably about 50,000.
$41,000.
Okay.
$20.50 an hour. When's the last time you made $20 an hour? Doesn't matter. What kind of professions do these guys have?
It's run the gamut from artists to corporate
Making
types.
$41,000 a year.
Oh, professions. I would say maybe not for profit, blue collar. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the issue. I put you in a room with average men and you don't know anything about them. So when you say, oh, all I have to do is make such and so forth, that's bullshit.
Why?
I just showed you why. You can't relate. You want a man who's intellectual and this and that. That by definition is an above average man.
Okay.
All right. At 52 years old with no kids, that's highly unlikely.
Okay.
You know why?
Why is that?
Why do you, okay. The men you've dated, have you asked them what it's like to date you? How do they experience you?
For the most part, I would say that, you know, I'm really easy to be around and hang out with and spend time. But some of the challenge areas is I think I can kind of push buttons because I'm always kind of digging into the why of things, and that can be exhausting. But I typically don't have a lot of negative reviews. I'm friends with most of my exes for the most part. You know?
Yeah. I can tell that being with you will be exhausting.
Is it? Why?
Even talking, it's like, okay, you want a man to be your entertainment. You want him to be your friend, the person that's not our job.
No. I don't want him to be my entertainment.
I'll go back to what you said at the beginning, and that ain't who men are.
No, you don't need to be my entertainment at all. In fact, I like a little space.
Okay, what you call it, ma'am, your distraction, whatever word, that ain't what we are. And see, right there, the intent. I don't care. It's not entertainment. Well, whatever that is, that ain't what men are. And I think you know what I'm telling you that. Men are not intellectual, this and that. I want to be able to read and and have long conversations. Is that who men are?
No. For the most part. Some are.
No. See? That's some shit. Some make your booty run, so you don't need none. Why y'all do this? Some. Where did you get this list from?
I don't know. I guess it evolved over time, and I kind of narrowed down on the things that were like really important to me, I suppose.
Right. Well, were your mother and father married?
Yes.
What'd your father do for a living?
He was a senior leader, executive in a public utility company.
He was a senior leader. What was his title, man?
I don't know. Vice president of blah, blah, blah. And
what'd your mother do?
She's a nurse practitioner.
What'd your grandmother do?
She's a homemaker.
What's your grandfather do?
He was a horticulturist for National Botanical Gardens.
You have any siblings?
Yes.
Any sisters?
Yes.
Any of them married?
Yeah.
How many of them?
One.
How many sisters you got?
I have 3.
3 sisters, so 4 girls total?
Uh-huh.
And one's married?
Yes.
Are you the oldest, youngest, what?
No, I'm the middle child.
Okay. So, do you want to date a man that's around your age?
Yes.
So, I'm 53, you're 52. And I'm going to say, I'm not going to say you because it's too personal. But the reason that men like myself don't tend to date women like you, too much work.
In what regard?
I just told you.
The intellectual conversations are exhausting and men are not interested.
That's not what I want a woman for.
No, well, you know, everyone's different. So if you're not.
No, they're not. No, they're not. See, next week I'm going to break down this bullshit, this hyper individual, we're all special snowflakes. This is a cancer. This is a stage 4 fucking pancreatic cancer that has helped to destroy Black America. And I'm going to go break into it a little bit right now because it is just outrageous. Everybody's different. Everybody's different. Everybody's different.
Well, they are.
Hold on, audience. Everyone is special. Everyone is special. Everyone is the one. No one can be generalized. Maximum options, minimum restrictions, hyper individualism, want to be exalted. I call it queen energy. This is why so many women hate to be called leftover or resist rankings because you can't, generalizations aren't valid because you don't know everyone. So if you don't know everyone, you don't know anyone. And it is bullshit. I'm gonna tell you why it's bullshit. You have to ask yourself as a woman, just like I have to ask myself as a man, what do the kind of women on your level typically get as a mate?
You know, I really don't give a lot of thought to that. I'm really kind of focused on me, but
hyper-individualism.
Okay, all right. From my observation,
hyper-individualism. So this is why so many women, audience, please. This is why so many women's prices are out of whack. This is why they can all come to the market talking about not settling because they do not compare themselves to anybody. There's God and there's me, and then everybody else do their own thing. Monday, I'm going to set the internet on fire. This is a perfect lead-in.
Okay, listen.
I'm talking to the audience.
I'm sorry.
Perfect lead-in because this is what it is. This is why when you talk to a woman, well, I keep myself to myself. I don't mind. I don't do that and so forth. So then how, let me speak to you as a business person. If you sell shoes, how do you know how to set your price?
I guess it would be based upon the cost of materials and production costs and marketing and, you know, profit margins. And, you know, if your marketing is very specific, you can determine your price that way by creating something that someone wants.
No. Okay, and then that's it. That's internal.
But selling shoes literally in a store?
You set your price on your internal metrics, but then you got to put them on the what?
Then you have to put it on the what? I'm not clear.
On the what? Then you have to put the shoes on the what? The open what?
On the open market.
Right. So if your number came back and said a pair of heels, because of however you ran your numbers, it came back and said you should charge $6,000 for a pair of heels. And you put them on the open market, put them on the shelf. You think those shoes are going to sell?
I would imagine not.
Why?
Well, probably because the way you ran the numbers were wrong. There's no reason that you
No. How did you know your numbers were wrong?
Well, on the surface, 6,000 is ridiculous.
I don't care.
But I would also
assume
you mean no one's buying it.
Who?
No one's buying it, right? Is the answer?
Well, you don't know that until you put it on the market. But
Right.
you know when you put it on the market and you look and you see what the other shoes cost.
Okay.
So if that See, what I want you guys to understand is these modern women have been told that they can set their price at anything because of their own numbers. They resist going to the market. That's why they don't like sexual marketplace value, because the market is whatever this is, you put it on the shelf. And that's assuming you can get it on the shelf. If the shoes on the shelf are $100, the only way to sell this at $6,000 is it to be a luxury item, and you have to have a reason. But if it is a similar quality, similar materials, similar whatever, you got to get similar price. You got similars of everything else that other women got.
Mm-hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong. I really honestly haven't ever had a problem dating my adult life. Quite the opposite. I tend to leave. I think part of the reason I wanted to join was to kind of say, yes, I actually do agree with a lot of your statements. And yes, you have to generalize because it's a large population.
Ma'am.
But
let me stop you right here. Just like black women are some of the most engaged women, you guys never have problems dating, but you have problems getting husbands. So it's a problem with dating. Yes.
Problem.
Huh?
I've just said no.
Yes, you do. And I'm going to tell you why you have a problem.
Why?
Because I want you guys to understand. She said, I generally don't have any problems dating. Yes, you have problems dating men that you respect, admire, and would like to marry. Because you don't leave men like that. See, what women do is they date men, and they think because they're dating the attention, that translates to the man that they want. So what she's trying to say is, my product is fine. Matter of fact, it's so good, they don't leave, I leave. Yeah, but that ain't the client you want. You want this client. You can't date him.
I actually think that the root cause is I have to know what I really want before I kind of put myself out there, and otherwise I repeat the cycle. But I don't think that everyone.
What you really want?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, you
gotta know what you're worth, what you really want, man.
What I'm worth?
Stop,
what do you think I'm worth?
Stop,
how do you determine that? Oh, okay.
That's what I mean. It's the hyper individualism. You're still trying to figure out how much I'm going to price my shoes at. You're a shoe. Shoes are $50.
Okay.
So what you want don't matter if it costs more than, if it's more than $50, don't matter. Get your price down to $50. Actually, you're over 50. You're at Goodwill.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Well, I'm a minimalist, so it's perfect.
Well, you got minimum opportunities. I'm just saying, it's your age. Oh, man, 27 time to sell, over 30, 50% off, 35 clearance, 40 outlet, 50 Goodwill. Man, talk. You talk a lot. And this is one thing, this is a problem with Generation X black women. I'm telling you, and it's not, you're in this group, but they talk so much. And in the 90s, there were so many wine socials and book clubs. They verbally and cerebrally masturbated so much in their early 20s and 30s, and made it between the wine socials, the book clubs, the poetry slams. You guys have become some of the most egotistical, arrogant, entitled women who have no idea what the men want.
I was going to rock and roll shows and hanging out with the dudes. I didn't do that girly stuff. So this is all my own. But I am curious about why women over or in my age group are in Goodwill. I mean, I get it as a generalization. I can kind of see around, but is it really everyone? I don't think so.
Why women your age don't do what?
Why we're in Goodwill?
Because you're old.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, I guess.
Man, what product on the market gains value with age and use?
Me. But usually designer products. Furniture, art.
Age and use.
Oh. I don't know, a landmark monument?
This is a 52-year-old woman now, ma'am.
I don't know.
But you're not.
You
You're
tell
asking
me.
questions, but
Mm-hmm.
are you trying to even be serious? Because you're coming.
I mean,
I'll use this no matter what because you're making my case.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you a question. Your grandmother at 52, was she a more serious woman?
Very much so.
Okay, and why would someone want a 52-year-old teenage girl?
I would imagine they would not, but that's not who I am.
That's how you're coming across?
I was trying to keep it light.
Okay. Reset. What product, when you keep it light, I'm trying to do work.
Okay.
I asked a question. I'm not just talking just to hear myself effing talk.
Okay.
So I'm asking what product gains value with time, with age and use?
There's nothing to mind.
Nothing. So why is it with women today feel that they should gain value, or most want to gain value, but the ones that don't want to gain think they should at least maintain value as they age and are used. But women, time immemorial, knew that that wasn't true.
Right.
And this is why I want you guys to understand that whether you disagree or agree with my tone, tactic, whatever, when it is far too exhausting to talk to women at a certain age. Because I'm gonna tell you that whether you're intentional or not, there's a low lack of, there seems to be a low level of respect. Because when women respect men, they tend to approach them in a different way. Y'all approach us, and you just like you approach me like it's a game.
No, I was not trying to make it a game. I really was simply trying to be socially polite.
Okay. But in order to do that, you would need to read the room, and that's not the tone. At the end of the day, ma'am, it comes right down to go back to the beginning. You know what you think, but you don't know what the market thinks.
Okay. Maybe that's what I'm here to learn.
Well, okay. What if you don't get a man, then what? Well, but before we do that, would you be willing to share a man?
No.
Then how are the numbers going to work, man? Because there are more women than men. And the older you get, it all becomes more pronounced. And the more stuff you put on that list, there are roughly 600,000 black women of a certain socioeconomic status, Generation X, and roughly about 100,000 men.
I mean, I am definitely open to compromise. I'll take a fixer-upper if that's my option.
No. You're not going to settle for. We're not settling. Any man, no.
Potential. Someone with potential.
No. There's no potential, man. We're at the end of life. See, so I'm saying you're still talking like I'm trying to be cool, but I'm like, what the fuck are we talking about? Potential at 50 goddamn 2.
That's true. That's a good point.
Can we act like we're almost? We only got a few more sunsets. Can we do something?
Okay.
How about this, man? Can you do me a favor? Can you stop making it about you and understand that you're going to have other black people and young black women watching this? And people are trying to get answers like you are.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but that's the point. It's all about you. Hyper-individualism. That's why I say y'all need to stop listening to older women about advice, because they don't give a shit about anybody else. It's about them. You know what I just come up with? The best way I can describe it is Generation X women really mirror only child syndrome. It's all about y'all. So you're going to settle for a fixer-upper? No. I would not tell anybody to be a man that a woman settles for, especially a woman who has a history of poking at stuff. Nope. But tell me why you won't settle. I mean, why you won't share? Because there are not enough men, especially men who are around your age and your income level. There are like 10 times more women than men.
Well,
and that's how it is for every group.
Well, first, there are real health reasons. That's a risk factor. So, that would have to be open.
So would you rather share a man, or would you rather share and have part of a man, or hold nothing?
Anything is possible.
No, I didn't ask that. I said, would you rather share, have a part of a man, or have a whole nothing? I don't do what you just did.
Wow.
And this is why
I suppose I would share.
Well, and see, the thing is, what I need you to understand, man, what I need you to understand, listen, I don't know if you watch my show often or not, but I want you to pay attention because I'm about to cycle you out. Women who are younger than you, who are easier to get along with than you, who, how about this? Women who are younger have a higher sexual marketplace value. They're definitely willing to share. And that's the thing. If you're a man that can meet your standards, and you got a woman like you whose sexual marketplace value is lower than the market, and your requirements are higher, are you going to go get, why would you pick this product? Why would you pick that?
I don't know.
Because you wouldn't. You wouldn't. You wouldn't, and that's the point. Men won't do that.
Okay.
And it's not meant to be an insult. It's meant to get you ladies to understand that your self-first, myopic way of looking at the sexual marketplace doesn't work. You are looking at men who are outnumbered by women of our race, of any race. The higher up you go socioeconomically, education, anything else, there's fewer men and more women of every race. You're not going to go get a white man, Hispanic man, because white women are going to make guard. They're going to block you out. You got to compete for the black men that exist, and you got to compete for the men. And here's the thing: just like you feel you're special, so does Alice, and so does Claire. She feels she's just as special as you. Y'all all feel like you're special. The way you get it, only one woman gets the man. Then what happens to the other 5 to 9 women? What happens to them? Because once the men are a finite source, either you get them or you don't. What happens to the rest of the women?
Okay, so you're making a numbers argument.
It's a numbers argument, man. It's finite.
Okay.
I understand. I mean, you went to college, right? There are a finite amount of people who can get into an Ivy League school. The numbers. It's finite. And unfortunately, you waited till 52 and you talk about marriage? That's not likely. Just on the age alone, then everything else. And then you want a high earning man to be monogamous.
I didn't say he had to be high earning.
Yeah, you did. He had to be on your level.
I said intellectual.
We've already established. We've already established that. We've already established that about the lifestyle. So
no, I did not.
Yeah, have a good one.